Right, so what we're going to do is to make the actual wreath shape. Now you can buy wreath forms like wired wreaths and things like that, but this part of the garland we've got left over from making the other display I think will be absolutely perfect. So this is half of what we used. So what we're going to do is, because it naturally kind of curls around itself, so we're going to just join them together, and if you want to you can use these garland ties that come from Poundland, or you can just use some normal wire. That would work absolutely fine. Or you can just twist the wires that are already on there around together. So all I'm going to do is to put this together and just put one of these ties around and just hold it in place. And I think it should hold pretty well. If you wanted to put some glue, maybe a bit of glue gun or something, you could do that, but I'm going to twist it, and I think that that should hold there. Now because there's a real thick piece of wire running around this wreath, it will enable you to shape it into the circle and into the shape that you want. And we're just going to fluff out the garland that we've got, just to make it a bit fluffier, and when we put the things on it we'll just flatten down what we need to. Right, so that's all fluffed up, and what I'm going to do is leave the bottom part that we sort of put together, the join. I'm going to leave that at the bottom because I'm going to put a bow there, and I want that will just completely hide it. You could have it at the top, but I think because we're putting like a nice swag bow down the bottom, I think that will be absolutely fine. So we're going to use very similar bows to what we used in the previous video, and if you want to watch how to make them, then check out the video that I'm going to link down below and it will show you. So we're going to put this pretty one on at the bottom, so I'm just going to make a little bit of room, and that's why it doesn't matter that there's a gap, because this is quite big anyway. So we're just going to go round and just twist the wire underneath, because we keep some wire on, so like some extra wire on the bow, and that will just help to fasten it on. You could also, if you wanted to, put some hot glue just to like doubly make sure, which I'll probably do because I'm going to hot glue the other flowers on anyway. So I'll put a bit of that on, and you can always primp it and fluff it all up at the end, so don't worry about that. So let's just put an extra splodge just to keep it secure and in place. I'll just push that down, and then these easily just go back into shape, and you can just put them exactly how you want them. I'll primp it up again a little bit at the end before we're finished, just to give you the idea. So that's in the centre part there, and then what we're going to do is to put some bows on. Now I've made some bows, some smaller bows. Again, these are in the video. They're really simple to make, and I'm going to fasten the wires on again just in the same way. Right, so once the bows are on, we're going to put some of these flowers on, and what I'm going to do in between the bows, I'm going to put 2 flowers in each gap. So I'm going to put one of the red ones and one of the cream coloured ones with the gold tips on, and to put those on I'm just going to use my glue gun, because I find this is much easier and they sort of stick on quite well. So you just have to find a branch to kind of stick them to, that's the only thing. So I'm just going to start and place those in there, and then again with the cream one, and I'll do that all the way around and just fasten those in the gaps. the last two to do now. And incidentally, when you stick them on, don't stick them too far down because they kind of get hidden. So stick them so they're sort of higher up on the branch itself. So don't sort of like bury them in there, kind of put them a bit higher, because you can always bend it to fit. But if they're too low, they look a little bit too sunken. Now these flowers came from a bouquet that I bought from the craft shop in Wales. But when you're out and about, look for bouquets or look online and put maybe Christmas bouquet or something like that. You want some nice heads on the flowers. You'll be pulling the heads off, so you could also look and see what else that you get with it. So you could sort of like use some of the extra berries or pine cones or something like that. So keep your eye on those. So that's the sort of thing that you want to be looking for. And you know, you don't have to get it from the same place that I do, because there's lots of places that do stuff like this. And in the bunch that I used that one that I used from a different video, and I also used this one. I've pulled most of the heads off now, and that came from there. So what I've done is pulled off, there was 2 of these pine cones with like glittery tips on, but you can get some pine cones and you can glitter them anyway, so you don't have to sort of get them. You could make a few, but because I've only got 2, and I also found these, they were on the pick, so I'm just going to literally stick on what I've got, just make it like it's the right shape, and just glue that. Some more glue sticks. You do need a good supply of glue sticks when you're doing things like this. I'm just sticking that on, and just kind of, I'm just going to put 2 of those on. So I'll put that one there, and maybe this one down the bottom corner. But you can put on what you've got, you know, what you can find. I know that Poundland Home Bargains, places like that, they do have lots of bits like this that you can use. And then these little extra bits I'm going to dot around, just so you've got just a little dab here and there, if you see what I mean, of colour. And then I'll put this one maybe down this bottom part there, because you'll see it if it's hanging up. Just sort of stick that in, and that's the main part of the wreath. Now if you wanted to, you could use that as a centerpiece on a table, but what I would do is make the wreath smaller, but we'll possibly, if I've got time, do something like that this year. If not, here's the idea: you can make it smaller, make it just enough room for maybe a candle or a plate or something like that with a candle on, and then you could use that on your table as a centerpiece. I would say don't light the candle when you've got all these kind of decorations, because that is a fire waiting to happen. So it would just purely be just for decoration. So you can also do that as well. So let me know if you give that a try, because I'm sure that'll work really well. Now at the top we need a ribbon, so I'm just going to grab some ribbon and show you how to finish the top off. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can attach either ribbon or something else to hang it up. So I'll show you the ribbon first. I've just got a length here, it's the same ribbon that I've used, and what I'm going to do is just fold it over like that. Now I'm going to gather it and then put some wire, some of just the wire that we've been using, around the bottom, just to hold it in place. Just wrap that round. Right, okay, so once you've done that, I've just had to do it again because I didn't leave enough wire at the bottom. Make sure you leave enough wire and you can hang that on. Now you have to make sure it's facing the right way. Obviously it won't hang if it's that way. It needs to be that way so you can hang it on a hook, and you can sort of like pull it in. It doesn't have to be sort of open. So I need to get the central point. So just go from the bottom, go all the way up, and grab a part at the back that it needs to hang to. So obviously it needs to be in the middle, because otherwise you're not going to be central and it's not going to be hanging very well. And I'm just going to loop that around this bottom part and stick that on, or say stick it on, tie it on with the wire. And I think using the gold ribbon is quite nice, because it obviously ties it in with everything else. So I'm just going to give it quite a few twists round because it needs to take a bit of weight, and I think that's where you're better off having the join at the bottom, because you're not putting so much weight on you know, that part that you've just sort of stuck together. Now if you didn't want to put ribbon on, there is another way that you can do it. It would be, you wouldn't really see it sort of blend in a little bit better. So I'll just twist those off and then cut those extra bits off. I think I'm going to leave the ribbon on, but I am going to tell you about the other way. So I'm just going to fold that back over and show you the hook there. So that will hook up absolutely perfectly. That'll be fine. Remember, just twist it which way you need. The other way is to use these garland ties that came from Poundland. You can loop them round like that, wrap a bit of wire around, twist it like that, and that will sit on the back and hang as a hook, and you won't see anything, so you won't even see a ribbon with that. So there's another little idea for you. And there we go. So it's completely finished. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out, and it matches the garland, or the centerpiece, the table centerpiece, absolutely perfectly over there. So I'm really chuffed with how they are, and I hope you like them too. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all okay, and I'll see you all again very soon. You take care. Bye for now.